All right, let's talk to the dads for just a second here. You saved up the money, you booked the flights, you even said yes to the hotel room that cost more per night than your entire first car payment. Yeah, I've done that so much. You even put on Mickey ears without complaining. And even the ones that didn't fit your head, you still did it all. But somehow, your amazing trip that you spent thousands of dollars on ended up like a disaster. The kids were melting down by 11 a.m. You stood in line for 90 minutes, even for a ride that only lasted 3.5 minutes. You even ate a $22 hot dog standing up next to a trash can because you didn't know you needed dining reservations month in advance. You also downloaded 4 different apps and still had no idea what was happening. Does any of that sound familiar? And if you say no, I'm assuming you've never been to Disney, because even I have done most of those things. Here's the truth that nobody tells a dad before they go to Disney. A poorly planned Disney trip doesn't just disappoint. It actively destroys the magic that you've spent thousands of your hard-earned dollars on. And the wild part is, it's almost never the kid's fault. It's almost never Disney's fault. 9 times out of 10, it's dad's fault. Now, before you get defensive, I'm not here to roast you or even roast myself. I'm actually here to save you, because I've been this dad more times than I would like to say. And every single mistake that I'm about to walk you through is one I've made, or I've watched somebody else make, or I've heard from my close friends and families about what they did wrong. Today, we're going to break down the D.A.D problem. 3 letters, 3 ways dads unknowingly destroy a Disney vacation that they have worked so hard to give their families. If you fix all 3 of these, I promise your next Disney trip will be the trip your family talks about forever. So let's dive in. Starting off with the first D, we have design. Most dads approach Disney trips planning the same way that they approach assembling IKEA furniture. And if you know, you know. We skip the instructions. We go on instinct. We even wonder why nothing fits together at the end, or why I have so many extra screws that I know they did not send me. Yeah, that's been me. Here's the truth about Disney. It's the most complex Disney vacation. Sorry, it's just the most complex vacation on Earth. I am not exaggerating. Disney World alone is about 43 square miles. That's twice the size of Manhattan. There are 4 major theme parks, 2 water parks, over 30 resort hotels, and hundreds of dining options, and a transportation system that requires your own learning curve. You can simply not wing a Disney World vacation. Simply put, you can't do it. And why I say that? Let's get into mistake number 1. Going in without a day-by-day park plan. Most dads think, we'll just figure it out when we get there. That works at Six Flags and it works at other vacations. But at Disney World, that means you're going to be spending 45 minutes arguing about which park you go to. You miss the morning rush window when lines are the shortest, end up doing half of what you could have done in 2 hours of planning at home. So what do we do to actually fix this? This is what I would say to do, and it's what's worked for me. And now that I've kind of mastered this skill, I don't have to do it ever so often, but I still do it from time to time. Map out which park you're going to go to each day before you go to it. Each park has its own rhythm. Magic Kingdom on day 1 can be an emotional anchor. Epcot on day 2, super fun for parents. Hollywood Studios, if you have friends and family that are fans of Star Wars, and Animal Kingdom in the morning, and leave by 2 p.m. when it gets hot and hop somewhere else. These are all things that you can do to prep before your trip that will ensure that the chaos that can come with it is eliminated. Jumping into mistake 2, getting the trip length wrong. This is one that silently ruins more Disney trips than anything else. Dads either go too short, trying to do 4 parks in 2 or 3 days, or they go way too long, and the family hits a wall on day 4 and 5. Both feel like the ultimate failure. I'm going to be honest with you. And I've done both of them. I'm telling you, I've done both of them. So here's the magic answer. The sweet spot that I would say, especially for my family with 2 young little ones with another one on the way, is around 5 to 7 days for Walt Disney World. And that's enough to hit all of the theme parks, all 4 at once, without feeling rushed. This also allows for buffer days in between those park days with time to recover, time for the pool, time to relax as adults. What I would tell you is don't try to be a hero and do everything in 3 days if you've never been before, or even if you've been once or twice. When you have families, things get a lot harder. Mistake 3, not using a Disney travel agent or not knowing that they're actually free in the first place. This is a big one, and I know what you're thinking. I don't need someone to plan a vacation for me. I'm an adult. I thought the same thing. Here's what I didn't know. Disney vacation planners are completely free to use, especially early on in my life here. I wish I would have done this more often. Disney pays their commission, so you don't have to. So you pay the exact same price whether you use one or not. There is no extra fees. Now, there are some like high-end, high-dollar Disney vacation planners that do way more than just like your regular agent that you might pay for if you have the budget. You'd have to be probably bringing in a decent amount of money or willing to spend a lot on a vacation. But I would recommend that every family that is of, I would say, average intent of going just to enjoy their vacation, get a Disney travel agent. What you're going to get from one of those agents is a day-by-day itinerary in most cases built around your family's specific ages and interests, dining reservations made for you, hotel recommendations that actually make sense for your budget, and someone available to answer any of those panic questions that you might have at 11 a.m. the night before you fly out or leave out for your vacation. Not using a Disney travel agent isn't saving money. It's actually leaving expertise on the table. So what should you do when it comes to planning your vacation? What I would recommend is find a Disney authorized vacation planner before you book anything. They handle the complexity so you can just show up and truly be dad or truly be mom. I'll link one in the description that my family personally uses for our vacations when we go. And I'm still, I would say, pretty good at booking them, and I still use them. Mistake 4 is booking the wrong hotel. On-site or off-site is one of the most consequential decisions Dad is going to make, and most make it purely on price. Trust me, I want to save money too, so I know what you're talking about here. Off-site is cheaper per night. Yes, that part is totally true. But on-site Disney hotels come with early theme park entry, which means that you get into the parks 30 minutes before everyone else. And in those 30 minutes, you're going to be able to knock out multiple of the big name rides with little to no wait. That advantage alone could be worth hundreds of dollars in time saved versus what you spend on Lightning Lane passes. Trust me, those add up as well. So what I would say is run the real math here before you ever book off-site. Factor in transportation time. How much is it going to cost to park your car? Yes, you have to pay to park your car if you're not staying on property. And what early entry is actually worth to your family. The cheapest hotel is often not the cheapest trip when we're looking at value. Okay, so design is how you actually set the table, but even a perfectly designed trip can get wrecked by the second letter. And this is where I see most dads completely lose their minds in real time, right in the middle of a Disney park. The A is for attractions. And this is where the average unprepared dad loses 40% of his day without ever realizing it. The average wait time for the top 10 rides just in Magic Kingdom alone, not across all of Disney World, just in that theme park, is somewhere between 75 and 80 minutes each. Without a strategy, you're getting 4 to 5 rides done in a full day. And for people that are going, I need to get the most bang for my buck, I'm going to tell you right now, that's not going to cut it. 4 rides in a full day in Disney World after spending thousands of dollars to be there. That's not necessarily Disney's fault. That's a strategy problem, and it's completely fixable. Mistake number 5, not understanding the Lightning Lane experience at all, in any way, shape, or form. Disney's Lightning Lane system is the single most misunderstood thing about a modern Disney vacation. Dads either don't know it exists, don't know how to use it, or refuse to pay for it just on principle alone. All 3 approaches cost you time, which at Disney means the same thing as money. Time is money on a Disney vacation, sadly. So here's the quick breakdown. Lightning Lane Multipass is the paid line skip system that replaced the old FastPass that, I wish we could go back to at time to time. Yes, you had to race and get to those things to try to get your FastPasses before they ran out, but it was free, and that experience just lives with me in my head. And then you get to save those tickets, and it's always something that's memorable. But here, you're going to pay per person, per day, and can book 1 ride at a time throughout the day. Lightning Lane Single Pass is for those top tier rides like Tron, Guardians of the Galaxy, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and that costs extra on top of what you're going to pay for the multi-pass for all the regular rides that's there. So yeah, it all adds up. And yes, it is still worth it if you do it right. So how do we actually make sure we do it right? Booking your first Lightning Lane the moment the park opens, or even before if you're staying on site and have access to early access. Go straight to your first booked ride, ride it, and then immediately start booking the next one. Stacking Lightning Lanes throughout the day is the difference between riding 4 rides and riding 12 rides. Mistake 6, not knowing the difference between a ride and a show. This one sounds obvious until you're standing in a 45-minute line with a 4-year-old who's expecting a roller coaster and then walks into a theater to watch a movie. And my 4-year-old doesn't like to watch movies all that often. I'm going to be honest with you, even the fun ones. I can't get her to sit down long enough. So, yes, they're great shows, but they are still shows. If your family is ride-focused, knowing which attractions are sit-down experiences before you even walk in the queue saves you from a tantrum that you did not see coming. And yes, I've had this experience myself and have witnessed it way too many times. So, before you actually go on your trip, go through the park map together as a family and categorize every attraction that you actually want to do and know the names of them. Whether it's a thrill ride, a family ride, a show, or a character meet, kids love doing this anyway, and it sets up the expectations perfectly, and it gets them excited for the trip they haven't even gone on yet. So that might annoy you, because they might ask you, can we go right now? But they will get excited. I'm telling you. Mistake 7 is ignoring the park touring strategy. That means rope drop, midday break, and evening return times. Disney parks have a rhythm, and dads who don't know it fight it all day long. Here's the rhythm. Parks are least crowded from opening until about 11 a.m. And then from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. is typically where the highest peak crowd times will be. But also, if you haven't been to Florida, that's also when it's hottest. This is when amateurs are melting down in line while the pros are back at the hotel pool, chilling out away from the crowds. From 4 p.m. to close, the crowds thin a little bit, but the energy at the parks at night is completely different. I'm telling you, it's cooler, it's more magical, there's fireworks, there's parades. It's just something about being in that park, and when it lights up, that is truly a different experience. So the 3-phase Disney day: attack at rope drop, retreat at midday, return for the magic hour. Dads who figure this out feel like geniuses. Dads who don't are the ones carrying a screaming toddler through Tomorrowland at 2 p.m. I have also been here, so please, don't hate yourself. Just plan accordingly. What can you do to actually help with this? Build the midday break into your plan before you actually even get to the parks. I'm telling you, have it on your calendar. Plan it out. Set an alarm. Book your hotel within 15 minutes of your park. Yes, there are even parks that aren't on Disney grounds that are that close. Go back, swim, nap, rest, recover, eat a snack, do something, and then get back to the park between 3 and 4 p.m. completely refreshed. Your family will thank you, and you will get to see some of the best nights at Disney and make it all the way through. Mistake 8, not booking dining reservations at the 60-day mark. This is genuinely one that shocks dads who are new to Disney. You cannot just walk up to Be Our Guest or Cinderella's Royal Table or Olga's Cantina and get a table. These restaurants book up months in advance. If you decide you want a sit-down meal on a day 3 of your trip and you haven't pre-booked, you're eating a corn dog from a cart. I'm telling you, and you're probably going to be doing it on top of a trash can, which is fine. It is totally fine. But in most cases, it's not the memory that you were hoping for, that your family was building for, or the one that you thought you were going to pay for. So how can you help prevent this? 1, get a Disney travel agent so they'll do it for you. Or if you're doing it yourself, which I commend you, because especially if it's your first time, it can be pretty chaotic. Log into the My Disney Experience app 60 days before your first park day. Book your dining reservations immediately. Do not wait here. Time is of the essence. Prioritize one signature dining experience per trip. You don't need to go full-blown unless you have the budget, but just one would be great. The memory is worth every penny, I promise. Set a calendar reminder right now if you have a trip coming up very, very soon. If you have one in the summer, make sure you have that alert already on your phone so you do not miss it. You do not want to sleep late and then miss out on the ones that you wanted to do. Mistake 9 is not navigating the park and literally just wandering. So look, we as dads like to wander. I like to wander. I can just mosey around and not think about anything. And sometimes that's the best moments. But at Disney, it's not a good thing, especially if you're with your family. If it was just you and your spouse, sure, wander. But with you and a family, it's going to cost you so much time and money, I promise you. So, let's eliminate it. The parks are designed to pull you in beautiful directions that don't necessarily match your priority list. Without a route, you'll walk past your most wanted ride 3 times and then never actually get on it. So, use the My Disney Experience app's wait time feature to route your day dynamically. Screenshot your lightning lane times before you enter the park so you're not fumbling with the app at every decision point. Trust me, you don't want to just be on your phone all day. I've done that too. Know your must-dos before you walk through the gates. These are huge. Knowing what you want to do is really important. So design sets up the trip. Attractions fill up your day and time. But here's the thing. Both of those can be perfect, and you can still completely blow your entire trip with the third letter. It's a real D. Because decisions happen in real time, under pressure, with tired kids and a full wallet and a lot of expectations. And this is where dads do the most damage. Yes, this second D is decisions, and is the one that most dads don't see coming. Here's the mindset that I hear most often, that dads do before every Disney trip. I just want to have fun. I don't want to have to think about a thing. I'm on vacation. And listen, I hear you, I feel you, but I need to tell you something important. A Disney vacation is not a passive experience. It's an active one. And the dad who checks out of decision making doesn't get to relax. He gets to watch the trip fall apart all around him while everyone looks at him to fix it. That's not that fun. I will be honest with you. Here's the reality. Every hour of a Disney vacation contains dozens of micro decisions. Where do we eat? Which ride do we ride? Do we stay for the parade or leave before the crowds? Is it worth the lightning lane on this one? Does she need a nap? And are we doing the character meet or skipping it? How much have we actually spent today? That one kills me. None of those decisions are fun to make under pressure. All of them shape your day, and most of them have a right answer. if you've done the work before you got there. Mistake number 10, the I don't want to decide anything, Dad. That one I can't resonate with all that much, but I have seen it. This dad tells everyone just to figure it out, then gets frustrated when nobody can. Or worse, he defers every decision to his partner, who then carries the entire mental load of the trip while he films TikToks. Maybe that one resonates with me a little bit when I'm trying to get B-roll. The family feels leaderless. Tension builds. Someone cries. Dad doesn't really understand why. The fix: own the trip leadership role. Not controlling, but leading. Big difference there. Know the plan. Make the calls when it matter. Let the small stuff go. The best dad at Disney is the one whose family never feels like they're just drifting. Mistake 11. The budget decision that poisons the trip. This one is subtle, yet can be absolutely devastating. Dad didn't set a realistic budget before arrival, so now every spending decision at the park becomes a negotiation. The kid wants a $40 lightsaber. Dad says no. Kid cries. Mom looks at Dad. I have been here. Dad caves or stands firm. Either way, the moment is gone. Multiply this by 15 times in just a day, and the trip where money tension now becomes the main character instead of Mickey Mouse. If you haven't decided what you're willing to spend before you walk through those gates, Disney will ultimately decide for you. I am telling you, it will. And Disney's number is always higher than yours. So what can we do here? I would say this is what's really helped a lot for me, because it is very easy for me to walk in and just get emotionally overwhelmed because I'm excited, the kids are excited, the family, the wife, all of these people are excited, and I just want to make sure I'm giving them everything, every second and ounce of joy. But it's either stress at the trip or stress after the trip. So what I would tell you to do, what's helped me, is set a daily discretionary budget before you go. Separate this from tickets, food, and even the hotel. Call it the magic budget. Each kid gets a set amount for souvenirs. When it's gone, it's gone. There are no negotiations, no guilt, no resentment, just a clear boundary that everyone agreed to. Mistake 12, days versus dreams, choosing efficiency over magic. And I know that's kind of contrary to what we've been talking about, because we're trying to make sure you have an efficient vacation, but it can also still be the burden. This is the most advanced mistake on this list, and it's the one experienced Disney dads like myself can and will continue to make. You've been before, you know the strategy, you're locked and loaded on the touring plan, and in your obsession with getting everything done, you forget to actually feel anything. You hustle past the castle because you have a lightning lane in 4 minutes. You skip the parade because the crowd slow you down. You don't let your kids stop and pet the dog in front of the resort because you're simply behind schedule. You optimize the trip so hard that you removed all of the magic from it. The goal of a Disney trip is not to complete the most attractions. The goal is to create the most memories. Sometimes those things are the same, but often they are not. How can we fix that? Because it's hard to pull away from that when you planned so hard and so diligently. Build margin into your day intentionally. Leave 1 hour completely unscheduled. When your kid wants to stop and watch the street performer, stop. When your daughter wants to go back and meet Cinderella for the second time in one day, go back. The unplanned moments are almost always the ones they remember. Mistake 13 is not deciding to ask for help. The proudest dads have the worst Disney trips. This isn't an insult, it's data. The dads who refuse to research, refuse to use a travel agent, refuse to watch prep videos, refuse to read the forums, they're the ones eating hot dogs on the trash can, wondering what went wrong. And look, I am a sucker for eating on a trash can. There is something about it that is just nostalgia now. But it's still not the one that most people are wanting to do. Disney is genuinely complex. Asking for help isn't a weakness, it's what smart people do when they want a great outcome. So, before your next trip, invest 3 hours, that's all I'm asking, in prep time. Watch planning videos, read recent trip reports, call a Disney travel agent, and make your must-do list with your family. 3 of those hours of decisions made at home eliminates 30 hours of bad decisions made on the ground at Disney. And you can watch those videos on my channel, just so happens. So here's where we land. 3 letters, 3 ways that dads unknowingly destroy a vacation that they have worked so entirely hard to build. But here's the most important thing that I want to say before we close this out, and it might surprise you the most. You know what all 3 of these mistakes have in common? They come from love. In reality, the dad who skips planning is doing it because he wants to be spontaneous and fun for his family. The dad who ignores lightning lanes is doing it because he doesn't want to feel like he's being nickeled and dimed at every corner. The dad who checks out of decisions is doing it because he genuinely wants everyone to be happy. None of these dads are bad dads. They're just dads who didn't know what they didn't know. But now, you do. The difference between a Disney trip that your family talks about forever and one that they try to forget is not money. It's not luck. It's a dad who showed up prepared, led with intention, and left room for the magic. Design your trip like it matters, because it does. Know your attractions before you queue for them. Make your decisions before the pressure hits. And for the love of Mickey, book your dining reservations. You've got this. I'm telling you. You do. If this video saved your next Disney trip, share it with a dad who needs to hear it. And drop in the comments which letter is your problem. Which one resonates with you? We all have one, if not all 3 of them at different times in our life. And if you want to go deeper on why Disney has this power over all of us in the first place, why we willingly spend thousands and call it the best decision we've ever made, go watch my video right here on how Disney turns parents into willing puppets. And I'll see you in the next one.